Welcome to Riverside TV, sponsored by Riverside Collectibles. I'm your host, Doug Wrench, and today we're going to be reviewing CMC's die-cast model in 1/18 scale of the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR, so-called Uhlenhaut Coupe, which was its unofficial name. In the actual car, only two were ever made. Both versions of that car are available in model form in 1/18 scale from CMC. The car we're looking at here, their CMC's number M076, is the pure race car, not used on the street, open pipes. And the second version, M088, has the big muffler on the side underneath the gullwing doors and some other modifications. So Rudolf Uhlenhaut, who was the competition department engineer, could drive it on the street. Now, I know it looks a lot like a 300 SL, but it is indeed the 300 SLR rebodied with the gullwing style doors and bodywork. It still retains that classic look of the 300 SLR in the front. These cars were designed to run in major sports car races like the 24 Hours Le Mans. Unfortunately, in 1955, an open version of this car, driven by Pierre Leveur, crashed and went into the crowd and killed himself and 86 spectators. Mercedes immediately drew from competition, so these cars sat and languished in the competition department for several years, collecting dust, and Rudolf Uhlenhaut converted them for street use and drove them. And they're still both in existence today in the Daimler Museum in Stuttgart, Germany, if you'd like to see it. If you don't want to take a trip to Germany and you'd still like to see a good look at one of the cars, this model is great. I mean, it really, really is fabulous. It's typically what we'd expect from CMC. If we move in a little bit here and I'll examine the engine compartment, it's got the Formula 1 300 SLR engine and all its detail. Use of materials by CMC, second to none. Finish, beautiful. We'll spin it around to the back. You can see in the rear trunk or boot, it's got two spare tires, which it would have used on a long distance race like the Mille Miglia, where they'd have to change tires. They wouldn't have to be able to make a pit stop. And if we move around here to the driver's compartment, you can see the fabric interior, the classic shifter gates, and all the instruments, the big tachometer from Mercedes-Benz. It really is a lovely, lovely model. We'll come around and take a look at the engine compartment from this side. You can see the fuel injection unit and all the things that go along with that. You can see the inboard drum brakes. It's amazing. Even at this late date, Mercedes was still sticking with drum brakes, even though competitors like Jaguar were going to discs at that point. And let's just close down doors and the other openings. I'll take one last look at it. It's in there. Really, really is a lovely car. Very clean. It's a shame they never turned it into a street car, or we never saw it race even. But absolutely beautiful lines. It's like they combined two gorgeous cars, a 300 SLR and a 300 SL, and came up with this. And the model really, really is a great representation of the actual car. And again, we're looking at model M076. And if you want the version that was actually driven on the street by Rudolf Uhlenhaut, that's the model M088. So this is Doug Wrench. Thanks for looking, and we'll see you again next time on Riverside TV.